What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB. You're back once again. Big shout out to my darky Guru McAllister for coming through and boosting up the coin. So, oh man, this. I mean, I don't know what type of script, what kind of staged cabal script we're living in right now, but this is dead, man. Honestly, man, this is the Hunger Games. That's how it feels in this boxing game. No, do other sports do this, for example? Do you have, like, I don't know, Real Madrid play Bournemouth? Do you know what I mean? That's how it's feeling now. But it's feeling like, Anyway, let's get to this from Hearn came out in a leaked phone call and puts out there that Jake Paul versus Tank Davis is essentially done for November. Wow. Here we go.
Runs everyone's cup of tea. We do business together. I'm happy to do more with it.
Eddie, just one other question again for our public in America. Jake Paul, Chavez, does that fight legitimize Jake Paul, or is it just another spectacle?
Listen, I think if Chavez comes in any kind of shape with any kind of desire, maybe it can be. It's not a terrible fight. You know, we know that Gervonta's going to fight Jake Paul in November. And then we'll see what happens if there's an AJ fight. Be interested to go from Gervonta Davis to Anthony Joshua, but I don't think the Chavez fight is terrible. I think it's a smart bit of business. Hopefully Chavez can get himself up for it. He don't have too long. He's been through a lot, but he was once a decent fighter. It was a long time ago.
Thank you, Eddie. I mean, the last time I saw you personally was in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center, and there was...
Okay, there you go, people. Now, I think they said, I heard some news a little while ago that Fake the Cake Paul... Fake the Cake, Dinner Lady Bingo Wings Paul was fighting Chavez. I was hoping, by God's grace, that it was fake news, to be honest. So I was hoping, man, because Chavez lost to Anderson Silva. Fake the Cake, Dinner Lady Bingo Wings Paul, he beat Silva. Oh, I beat the boxing triangles. I couldn't give a yeah, we're doing boxing triangles right now. Why are you fighting Chavez? He got punched up by a 60-year-old wrestler, man. What are they digging him up for? There's some... The crazy thing is, yeah, there's some Mexican cornballs who were like, yeah, Chavez is gonna do nothing, man. He gonna do nothing. I wish people would have... I'm trying to think now. I was about to say, I wish people had more pride and respect for themselves. Why is it... It's like your dad... I haven't really watched any really of his fights, Chavez. His dad's fights. But his dad makes his legacy. Chavez was renowned for not, again, like everyone else, not training. These silver spoon type dudes, not training. Just trading off his daddy's name. He was the word. To be fair to Eubank and Ben, they actually train hard. I do respect them both for that. Whatever their careers, whatever you say about them, they did train hard. And Eubank actually, at the start of his career, he did fight George Groves, for example. Was that in the Super 6 tournament? I think it was, because Groves went on to fight Callum Smith. So people say, oh, Eubank never fought no one. Eubank wasn't serious. Just because he lost, if he'd have won them fights, he'd have been world champion. So he was out there fighting the best. Obviously, that didn't work out, and the rest is history. But if it had worked out, he would have been world champion. So you can't say... Being a weirdo would be, oh, you're 36 and you've never even tried to be in the mix. You can't say that about Eubank. But either way, Eubank and Conor Ben are serious to their credit. Oh, it is scheduled as well. Oh no, it's at the end of June. So this gives what Eddie Hearn's saying even more what's the word I'm looking for? More credence to his claims. And I have to mention as well, I think I've got a link here. Got a sneaky link. Where's the sneaky link? Here it is here. Tank Davis, and I didn't, again, at the time when Tank Davis got popped by Lamont Roach, we didn't really talk about it. But in that post-fight interview, Tank Davis implies that if he'd have beat Lamont Roach, the Jake Paul fight was supposed to happen. Here we go, look. This is from March when he got punched up by Roach.
What was the plan originally?
The title was this. Gervonta Davis was going to call out Jake Paul if he won tonight. Here we go.
Who were you going to call out? What was the plan originally?
I think he was here.
Tank gonna do him.
He came in my locker room.
Shakur Stevenson?
He wasn't in my locker room.
Jake Paul?
Next question.
So, it was supposed to be Jake Paul if he won. Now, knowing Tank... Listen, I'd like to sit here and say Tank wants to run it back with Lamont Roach. But even in the post-fight press conference, the guys were saying, "Oh, you can do the Lamont Roach rematch next." Oh, yeah, well, cock-a-doodle-oo, man, woo woo, well, yeah, woo, Al Heyman, yeah, woo, just throwing rubbish out there, saying essentially, "No, we'll have to talk to my team." It's like, talk to your team for what? So this guy here, and it's well documented, he says he wants to retire. I think allegedly Diddy probably popped him. As you think, one of them type of ones happened to him. That's how he looked to me. He looked to me like, and it is well known that poor people are exploited, especially poor, hungry people living on the streets of Baltimore. They are exploited by the zesty oligarchy. Yeah? So I don't know who it was, but allegedly it could have been, pick who you want, Al Heyman and his executive friends, his shekel friends. Take it. Some little nice brown skinned boy coming from the street of Baltimore. Pop, pop. You see what I mean? He looked at me like that. He was ferocious. And when you get older and you realise, I mean, look at Justin Bieber, for example. There's allegations there. Take it. Usher as well. Take it. Yeah? There's a whole... This is the industry as such. You get put on all right, but your soul ain't the same, man. Your soul ain't the same as it was. And when you get older, it's one thing when you're 15, 16, 17, even 20, 22 years old and you've been popped. It's only when you get to 30 and you start having your own kids, you start thinking, that was wrong, man. Yeah, I wasn't supposed to be partying with a dude like that. I'm not. Listen, it's not even a joke. It's not a joking matter. I'm just telling you how it's looking to me right now. His soul to me looks broken. His soul to me looks broken, and at this point, he had no passion. He wanted to retire from the game anyway. Before this fight with Lamont, he's always been, "Oh, I'm only going to be in the game for another year, and I'm not getting out. I want to make. I don't care about belts either. But he's like, I don't care about belts. I just want to make money." So he's not fighting Lamont, and I think it's fair to conclude Eddie Hearn wouldn't say he's fighting Chavez and he's fighting Fake the Cake Paul in November for nothing. So let's talk about that for a second. Fake the Cake Paul. The best thing that could happen, which won't happen at all. Chavez hasn't fought for. Oh, he fought last year, but I mean, he fought a mixed martial arts fighter who was washed up, who was never really no good. He fought a mixed martial arts fighter, Uriah Hall, who had only had one fight. I mean, he lost to Anderson Silva in an 8-rounder. Fake the Cake Paul gonna give him a whooping, man. Fake the Cake Paul gonna whoop this guy. Hopefully. Well, I just don't want to see it, man. I wish his daddy would tell him, you're not trading on my name like that. Some people, Eddie Hearn himself said, "Oh, well, if Chavez has something, then it should be interesting." No, he's going to have... Fake Paul is a bit like Tank Davis. They only pick people to know he can beat, and that's how I got cucked. That's how I lost $100. Tank Davis, man, that's crazy, man. So that shows crazier things can happen, but I think Jake Paul's even more prudent than Tank. I think Jake's Paul team, they really know they're fighting a Stifler. Although they did lose, even then, look, he lost to Tommy, and Tommy's a stiff. So, crazier things would have happened, or have happened, and let's have a look at the odds quickly, actually. Chavez ain't going to do nothing, man. He's probably been given a bonus, yeah? He wouldn't, even if he, listen, I'm not even necessarily saying he has to be paid a bonus to lose, but either way you look at this, he's either no good, and he's getting boxed up, and or he's been paid to get boxed up. You can't win here, unfortunately, folks. You can't win it. Jake Paul's winning this fight. Oh, and the sad thing is, in terms of the Tank Davis versus Jake Paul, is that before the Lamont Roach fight, I think I was saying, yeah, Tank, get in there, smoke it. I think there's weight classes. Listen, there's obviously weight classes for a reason. We know that. It's a bit cliche, so I don't like using it, but 135 pounder. I think it's going to put a lot of them myths to bed. I do. This will put a lot of them myths to bed. I'd like to think Tank will do something, but it's just too big. It's just too big. Look at Floyd. Floyd was a career, well-ish, the latter part of his career, 147 pounder. He got in there with Logan, and he was in the corner complaining, saying, I can't get to him. And that's Floyd, who's a naturally bigger man than Tank. And he couldn't... Logan, give or takes, about the same as Fake the Cake Paul. He couldn't get to him. Floyd damn sure couldn't stop him. Yes, we'd like to believe Tank Davis is a more explosive fighter. But Tank Davis can also be more... He's not who he used to be. He can be put off. Imagine a big lump like Jake Paul just flicking his jab out. Is Tank Davis really going to want to come hunting? He didn't want to come hunting on Lamont Roach. We can argue that Lamont Roach is better than Jake Paul. The size, though, yeah? You can be a 9 out of 10 fighter or an 8 out of 10 fighter like Lamont Roach at 135. And then you can be a 3... That's the equivalent of like a 3 out of 10, 215-pound man at the end of the day. At the end of the day. Okay? That's how it works at a certain weight. At a certain weight, we're not talking 20 pounds here, we're talking the best part of 100 pounds. It's double the weight almost. It's not double the weight, but it's like 50-60% of the weight. And the height as well. Tank Davis is like 5'2". Jake Paul's 6'1", 6'2". It's a foot. A foot. He's going to have a foot of reach, a foot of height. That's 2 feet he's got on. Come on. Here's the odds. Yeah. Jake Paul's a big favourite against Chavez. You put a tenner on, you get £1.70 profit. I mean, that's how it should be. I might even put it on Jake Paul, to be honest. I might put $100 on and make 20 quid back. Bosh, because he's not losing that fight for sure. Chavez is coming for a payday, and he'll probably get knocked out as well on purpose. Although Jake Paul made a meal of Mike Perry, man. Mike Perry was like this. Put him up. Mike Perry stunk, man. Oh, crazy. He stunk something atrocious in there, man. That's wild. This game, man. This Babylonian game they're playing on our ass right now. The unwashed masses ass. Tank Davis versus Fake the Cake. Dinner Lady Bingo Wings Paul. Wow. He ain't got no shame either. He just assaulted an old man. Not that I like Mike Tyson. He's a sellout fraud as well. That's what I'm saying. He should have known better. His people around him who was blowing smoke up his ass, and more importantly, blowing smoke up my ass. I saw some of these old time heads. Swear down. There was some dude who's like 90 years old in there saying, "Oh, Mike, I haven't seen you look this good since you was 19 years old." And I'm sitting there thinking, well, and this old head's talking about cussing that. I'm thinking, well, surely they're not going to be saying that. You know what I mean? Surely they're not going to be lying like that to the masses. If he knows, if I couldn't do it, man. Yeah, I couldn't do it. If I was a 90-year-old old head, yeah, and I've been around Mike when he was 19, I couldn't sit there and say, Mike, you look like you're 19 again, if he actually looks 65 with a peg leg. I can't do that. I'm not doing that. I'll say, listen, bro, you look good for a 65-year-old Mike Tyson. That's what he should have said. He blew smoke up my ass, and that's wrong. He blew smoke up my ass. That's what he did. And I think how much I put on that fight? I don't know. It wasn't a small amount for me anyway. I think it was about $100 in the end. I was gassed off Mike Tyson. He's going to get in there and get... He didn't do shit. Chewing on his glove and shit. That's crazy, man. People ain't got no shame these times. Ain't got no shame. They ain't got no shame, man. So Tank Davis ain't going to have no shame. And it creates this vicious cycle, right? When he's younger, he gets popped. Yeah? Take it. Now, it's a vicious cycle because he's now used to getting money for getting popped. So now he's thinking, well, whatever. Yeah? Uncle Al and his friends, they had their fun with me, so now I'll let Fake the Cake Paul get in there and make a clown show of me too. That's the vicious cycle he's in now. He's lost all his dignity. He's lost all of his identity, which is what happens when you get popped. That is what happens, man. You don't know what's up and down anymore. And that's what this looks like to me. He could have been one of the best fighters, or had the potential to, of this generation. I think that's fair to say. He had the potential to be one of the best fighters of this generation. And he's changed that in for a fake Paul fight that is almost, I'd argue, I mean, I'm intrigued to see the odds. I think there'll be a lot of boxing bisexuals, and I would have been one of them, sadly. But that's probably a good sign that Tank won't win. Because I'd have been one of the ones saying Tank will be in there doing too much. But the reality is, he won't. That's the reality, I have to say. I'd rather see a Inoue in there with fake Paul, to be fair. I think Inoue will have a go. And Jake might be too slow. Yeah, Inoue gets caught by little trained 122-pounders. I think fake Paul's look at the floor and bowl his hand over. I think Inoue might be just quick enough and smart enough to see him coming. I'd rather see Inoue in there because I think Inoue would have a go with Fake the Cake Paul. Tank Davis, it might look like the Mike Tyson fight. where he's just standing there. It might look like Canelo versus Skull, but Skull's winning, if that makes sense. That's how I think it might look, honestly. But it'd be real sad if Tank gets knocked out, which is also possible. I tell you, I don't think Tank can knock him out. Logan couldn't knock old Floyd out. Floyd was 50. And Logan couldn't knock him out. I think trained boxers know how to defend themselves against dinner ladies with bingo wings. So I don't think he'll get knocked out. But if he did, or if he gets... Oh, man, why? Why, man? How many more millions you need? Why would you want to do that for? Why would you want to sell your legacy like that? And you're almost... If he wins, then it's okay. If he wins, it's okay. Yeah? I'm not one of them ones who think, I want to see Jake Paul get filled in. So if he wins, that's good. And it won't really affect his legacy. But if he loses, and you know Jake Paul, he likes putting them man on... He likes taking your resume from you. I've shown you the Mike Tyson one before. For the rest of history, yeah, Jake Paul will be on Mike Tyson's record. So years from now, kids will look back at Mike Tyson potentially, and they'll see his record, and they'll see Jake Paul. That's what they'll see on there. Does it matter? Oh, well, who cares? It's just like, well, come on, man. Mike had a successful podcast. Why do that for? Now, listen, I was the one saying get in there and get him, but you'd know if you ain't got it, man. I saw him in there. His legs, come on, man. You know if you ain't got it or not. He knew, and that's why I think there's false advertising. You can laugh at me and say, OIB, you got bumped. I did get bumped, but I'm not there to see him, man. I'm not there to see what they're filming and what they're cutting out. Yeah, all I'm hearing is this old head who was hanging around with Cuss telling me how he looks like he's 19 again. I'm thinking, well, if Mike Tyson's 19, fake point doing nothing, man. Turns out, my bad, busted. He's actually 65 years old. He was 65 in there at least, man. Conservative estimates have him at 65. Could be 70. He had his peg leg. He's stumbling out. Oh, man, that's bad. There's a bunch of suckers in this time right now, people. Bunch of suckers everywhere. I wouldn't even mind if some of these men come out and fight. I wouldn't have minded if Mike... I mean, he's old, to be fair. Let's forget about Mike for now, but... Who come to fight with Jake Paul? Tommy? Did Tommy come to fight? I mean, he won it, but... It's like... Anyway, let me know your thoughts, people. Smash the like button, subscribe, like off the bell, 100%. There's no doubt about this one, people. Stop it. Bosh.